ini menarik sekali kalau kita lihat bahwa sebuah rekor head to head sudah kita bahas,
Ya.
tapi tentunya itu hanya untuk menjadi menemani pemirsa sebelum menyaksikan pertandingan ya. Yang ada tentunya kejutan kita harapkan di pertandingan nanti.
Ya pasti ya, karena kalau kita lihat bagaimana Swiss datang, tentunya sudah mempertimbangkan apa yang harus dia lakukan di pertandingan dan sudah menghitung semua pemain-pemain yang akan dimainkan oleh Scaloni. Dan kalau kita lihat Swiss tentunya dengan PD juga akan berupaya memberikan kesulitan bagi Argentina karena mereka tahu semua bermain untuk Messi ya, dan tentunya Messi akan menjadi perhatian buat mereka. Tapi jangan lupa juga bahwa mereka Argentina juga masih punya dia Alvarez, kemudian di bangku cadangan masih ada Lautaro Martinez dan
ya kita menunggu tentunya, bahkan semua orang menunggu bagaimana Messi akankah menciptakan rekor lagi,
ya,
apakah akan menciptakan gol lagi, akan menciptakan assist lagi, karena itu sudah itu
ya Messi berpeluang
berasal dari air pegunungan dan kakak berat amat iklannya, yang ringan aja lah. Dengan pH seimbang, rasanya ringan di tenggorokan, bikin nyaman di lambung. Kristalin, bikin hidup lebih ringan.
Kapan nikah? Angin berumur loh, berat amat pertanyaannya. Ya ringan aja lah.
Dengan pH seimbang, rasanya ringan di tenggorokan, bikin nyaman di lambung. Kristalin, bikin hidup lebih ringan.
ya, Messi berpeluang mencatat rekor dengan mencetak gol dalam 7 laga fase gugur beruntun ya, di Piala Dunia. Dan memang kalau kita lihat Messi telah mencetak 8 gol dan 1 assist hanya dalam 5 pertandingan Piala Dunia 2026. Dan kalau kita lihat tingkat konversi peluang mencapai 27,6% ini luar biasa tinggi. Dan XG Messi berada di angka 5,7, artinya dia mencetak lebih banyak gol dibanding peluang yang seharusnya didapat seorang pemain rata-rata. Ini luar biasanya seorang Messi.
ya tentunya masih seputar Messi. Kalau melihat dari Scaloni, tampaknya sudah sangat firm di lini tengah ya. Tapi yang menarik adalah siapa pendamping Messi di depan.
Betul.
Kenapa pilihannya juga harus bertanya? Karena beberapa kali dicoba, ada Lautaro, kadang kita tahu di Bobo Diaz. Tapi dulu Alvarez menjadi pilihan utama bagi Scaloni.
Iya, kalau kita lihat bagaimana Messi tidak bekerja banyak sebelum dia masuk ke box ya, maka perlu pemain yang mau bekerja untuk menutupi kelemahan yang dimiliki Messi. Dan kalau kita lihat daya juang atau pergerakan Alvarez lebih banyak dilakukan untuk mengcover posisi yang ditinggalkan oleh Messi, sehingga seperti ketika mereka bertahan 4-1 4-1. Nah, poin satu di atas ini adalah Messi dibiarkan sendirian di atas. Ini yang mungkin menjadi pilihan Scaloni memainkan Julian Alvarez.
Ya, juga peraturan yang sangat bagus untuk target itu ya. Ini sepertinya membuat dirinya mulai dipercaya sebagai starting lineup.
Betul ya, ini dua posisi yang kerap dilakukan rotasi, itu dua posisi back sayap ya. Di kiri kalau nggak Tagliafico, Medina yang dimainkan. Kemudian di kanan kalau tidak Montiel, Molina yang dimainkan. Dua posisi ini yang selalu dirotasi oleh Lionel Scaloni. Tapi ada satu hal yang menjadi concern Scaloni, bahwa Argentina dengan 14 gol yang mereka ciptakan, mereka juga harus mengantisipasi sisi pertahanan karena ada kerentanan di sisi pertahanan. Tercatat mereka kebobolan 5 gol hanya dalam 2 pertandingan di fase knockout. Ini tentu jadi PR besar buat Scaloni, bagaimana caranya mereka tidak kecolongan menghadapi Swiss. Ingat, Swiss walaupun pertahanan mereka yang diutamakan, tapi mereka punya Brene Bolo, striker yang punya kecepatan, yang bisa tiba-tiba masuk ke dalam dan bisa bikin gol. 10 gol, 3 assist dari 34 penampilan bersama Pepe. Ini membuat Brene Bolo harus diantisipasi betul oleh Scaloni.
Ya, pemirsa, tentunya langkah ada Messi untuk menjadi juara dunia kembali. Masih ada 3 langkah lagi. Salah satunya adalah ketika mereka harus bisa melewati Swiss di pagi hari ini untuk bisa menjadi tim setelah Brazil di tahun 1958. Kemudian di tahun 1992 mampu mempertahankan gelar juara dunia. Tidak mudah, tapi tidak diterbitkan dalam sepak bola. Itulah Kansas City Stadium. Nanti akan menjadi tempat berlangsungnya pertandingan ini untuk bisa menentukan siapakah tim yang akan melaju ke final untuk bisa menghadapi Inggris yang sudah terlebih dahulu lolos. Baik pemirsa, malam ini kita akan dengarkan terlebih dahulu lagu kebangsaan Argentina dilanjutkan dengan lagu kebangsaan Swiss berikut ini.
Skandinavia kan Switzerlandnya.
Ya pemirsa, baru saja kita dengarkan lagu kebangsaan Argentina dan juga lagu kebangsaan Swiss untuk segera bisa menyaksikan pertandingan yang akan kita saksikan di hari Minggu pagi ini untuk memastikan satu waktu di semifinal untuk menghadapi Inggris yang sudah terlebih dahulu mengalahkan Norwegia dalam pertandingan sebelumnya. Sedangkan di bracket kiri, Prancis akan menghadapi Spanyol dalam sebuah laga yang tentunya juga ditunggu oleh semua pecinta sepak bola. Dan ini sesuai dengan skenario ya, tim-tim negara-negara besar lolos ke semifinal.
Tuh ya ada 4 istilahnya sudah 3 ya, 3 negara besar mantan juara yang sudah memastikan tiket ke semifinal, tinggal 1 lagi mantan juara yang belum hadir ya ke semifinal. Dan apakah Swiss bisa membalikan keadaan itu, ini jadi pertanyaan menarik ya, di sebuah stadion yang kata sisi ini stadion paling berisik betul, karena bentuknya menyerupai mangkuk yang membuat akhirnya suara terpusat ya dari penonton langsung ke tengah lapangan ya. Mengakibatkan mereka mendapatkan rekor Guinness di tahun lalu dengan 142,2 desibel suaranya.
Ya, dan ini merupakan pertandingan ke-6 yang digelar di stadion ini, di mana Argentina pernah berada di stadion ini ketika mereka mengalahkan Aljazair dengan skor 3-0. Sedangkan Swiss belum pernah bermain di stadion ini. Kita wasit asal Portugal, João Pinheiro, yang akan memimpin jalannya pertandingan di pagi hari ini. Ya, kalau kita lihat wasit sejauh ini seperti apa, Pak Sayan? Dari awal sampai akhir.
Iya,
seperti biasa ya, pro dan kontra selalu ada di manapun pertandingan karena biasanya tim yang kalah selalu merasa dirugikan oleh wasit. Tapi ketika dia berada di posisi menang, dia tidak menganggap wasit adalah yang membantu dia menjadi menang, mendapatkan penalti dan lain-lain. Dan itu terjadi di mana-mana dan sejauh ini ada pun kontroversi tetapi pengadil kita
Bagus ya.
bagus.
Ya, kita lihat line up dari Argentina, pastinya.
Ya, seperti kita sudah sampaikan tadi di bawah tetap Martinez dan empat di belakang Molina, Romero,
Kenapa Molina?
Tagliafico. Kemudian empat diamond mereka Paredes di bawah, di atas di ujungnya adalah McAllister didampingi di samping Deco dan Rio Fernandez dan dua di depan di Messi bersama Alvarez.
Ya, jelas 4-1-3-2 jadi adalah dari pelatih Scaloni, sedangkan ini line up dari Swiss.
Ya 4-2-3-1 ini line up standar yang dimainkan oleh Murat Yakin. Hanya ada satu perubahan yang dimainkan Murat Yakin ketimbang saat mereka menang adu penalti menghadapi Kolombia. Tidak ada Ardon Jasari yang digantikan oleh Gibril Sio di attacking midfielder. Selebihnya sama ya. Vargas masih ada di bangku cadangan. Sayangnya mereka tidak punya Johan Manzambi yang tersedia karena mengalami cedera. 4-2-3-1 mereka fokusnya adalah pertahanan untuk melancarkan counter attack.
Ini yang saya sukai. Kalau panas dalam, bantu rendahkan dengan yang ada panas.
Yang bisa kita lihat tadi moment of silence tentunya untuk menghormati salah satu pemain muda berusia 24 tahun dari Afrika Selatan yang meninggal di negaranya yaitu Jaden Adam.
Ya, meninggal seminggu setelah dia tampil bersama timnas Afrika Selatan di Piala Dunia ya. Meninggal di rumah, tapi sampai sekarang belum terungkap apa penyebab dia meninggal.
Ya, baik pemirsa, kita akan segera saksikan tentunya dari babak 8 besar untuk tempat final FIFA World Cup 2026 Argentina menghadapi Swiss untuk menentukan siapakah yang akan menjadi lawan dari Inggris di babak semifinal. Itulah babak pertama dari Kansas City Stadium. Selamat menyaksikan.
So whose name is going to be the last one into this year's tantalising semi-final lineup? The Argentinians with the greatest artist of them all, or the street-smart Switzerland? Argentina in the winning colours of 2022, the light blue and white, the Swiss wearing the red, and for the right to play England in Atlanta on Wednesday. And Kansas City is noisy, but it's also a hub of nervous anticipation as well, as Danny Doy tries to creep beyond Argentina for the first time. This is Zakaria who fired it back towards the Argentinian 6-yard box with purpose before he nudges over Alexis McAllister. Well, Brad Friedel, nobody in here really knows what to expect, and such is the beauty of this game that we love. We don't either.
Well, I think Switzerland's going to be a little bit cautious defensively. They definitely don't want to go a goal down. They know the brilliance of Messi, but there's also some other brilliant players that are on this pitch for Argentina. What we just saw on the first action of the game for Switzerland, and Doy is a handful, and he's going to cause Molina and Romero and Paul on that side some issues with his pace, and they'll try to look to beat Embolo. For Switzerland, I think it's paramount they get to halftime 0-0 or even go up a goal. But this is not going to be an easy test for Argentina, as some may think.
Comeback against Egypt has already been dubbed the 14-minute miracle. Most were preparing the Argentinian victories. Those on the pitch in Atlanta certainly won't. But they probably do need a win that carries assurance tonight if people are to believe that this is going to be their year again. It was Ricardo Rodriguez, one of the stable members of this Swiss side now for many years. Back it goes to Gregor Korbel. He was one of the heroes for Switzerland in that round of 16 win over Colombia. His big penalty save from Cucho Hernandez, which has ultimately put their spot here in Kansas City tonight.
Yes, had a magnificent game. We have two of the tournament's best on display, Emi Martinez and Kobo. Expect both of them to be busy at times this evening.
Just required to shift himself out of his area. Rodriguez is sent to the ground by Alvarez, who will be on the goal hunt tonight. Julian Alvarez, he has watched Lionel Messi score time and again, including the hat-trick he scored inside this stadium, and he is still yet to get off the mark himself. Doy, who has pace and pace to test Molina. And Molina went with him, but the last touch, well, it appeared it had come off the Argentinian, but clearly it was in Doy.
Well, it's now 3 minutes gone, and we've seen Ndoye take on
Oh,
Molina
tangan
2
aja.
times already. I think this is going to be on show for everyone to see this evening. Very difficult to stop.
Oh, jangan gitulah Martinez.
Intimacy between these two nations tonight, a third of the World Cup. But through it all, never a Swiss victory over Argentina. Martinez to Christian Romero. There is Molina. The Paul. Passing away by Alfretti. Rolo. Keep his feet, but really kept his active to try and run that down. And he's got a big part to play for Switzerland tonight, Fabian Rieder. Very much liked by Murat Yakin for the high press that he provides, the energy to this Switzerland team.
And the energy by So. I think those two are going to be integral to them getting chances and being able to play in transition when they win the ball.
Zakaria, who is more naturally a central midfielder, the captain of his club side Monaco, but has been utilised as a right back in this tournament for Switzerland, certainly in their last few games. Xhaka. So patiently waiting to see if a gap is going to appear. Freud is the one who makes the first team run. Back he comes to Alfretti. This man, Akanji, whose penalty miss against Colombia a few days ago mattered loss in the end. And for Switzerland tonight, remember, no Joao Manzambi again, who has been a World Cup sensation. 3 goals, 2 assists for him, but was not able to recover from his injury to play this evening, having missed that Colombia game as well.
McAllister.
Has it for Switzerland. Embolo, Reader.
Shoot.
So is there. Put away by Martinez.
So far, Switzerland is dictating the possession and the press. I think they're surprising Argentina in the early stages of this match.
They have lost it again, the champions. Xhaka.
Halus solo guys. Batasan Colombia 0-0 ini.
Reflection missed by Embolo. Over the top by distance from Xhaka.
Ya udah umur berapa ya kan? Udah kelihatan ubanan ini.
152nd Swiss cap this evening for Xhaka, already the record holder, which you will not be surprised to hear, in terms of Swiss caps. The high number. Whatever path presents itself for Lionel Scaloni's Argentina, to win it from here, they need to conquer anything and everything European.
They have a couple of monumental tasks ahead of them if they want to lift the trophy, but they've got one right here in front of them. The way that Switzerland has positioned themselves, the way that they've set up, and the intent. The Swiss team is set up to win this match, not to just be the almost semi-finalist.
Perhaps encouraged by the fragility that Argentina have quite readily shown in their last couple of games. Tagliafico now. Molina. Here's Messi, who hasn't actually touched the ball. Molina. Messi there to sweep it away.
Messi.
Messi. McAllister. Argentina corner.
It is remarkable. Lionel Messi hasn't touched the ball yet. The first two times he does, he creates two chances. You see 4 Swiss players trying to get around Lionel Messi. The problem with that is other players are going to be open if he does elude you.
Messi hat-trick here against Algeria, the first World Cup treble that he had ever scored in his career. And it is Messi's ball which came through, and by a Swiss head, it will be another Argentina corner.
He hits these with such precision. Very difficult when the runs are good to defend against it.
Corner.
Zimbolo just gets enough on the header.
And given the fact that it feels like it is about 90% Argentinians inside this Kansas City Stadium tonight, if not a smidge more, the sound every time Lionel Messi is on or near the ball is deafening. Messi's caught.
Gol! Gol! Edan gol! McAllister.
With precision. And after the scares of recent days, Argentina have a storming start.
Well, just as truly remarkable. Lionel Messi. Switzerland were just getting in the groove. They thought they started the match
Apa
well,
itu,
which
bro?
they did. Argentina had no attacks. The first time Messi gets an attack, he creates 2 chances. The first corner was inches away from being perfect. The second one is perfect. Tremendous
Padahal
finish,
pendek
tremendous
aja
run,
golnya.
tremendous timing, and an even better glancing header by McAllister.
His first goal of this World Cup. Messi the provider. McAllister with the end product. And monumentally big start.
Baru mulai season. Kayak belum.
Yeah, this is exactly what Switzerland didn't want when you have to chase a game against this Argentinian team with Lionel Messi in it. You're going to have to open up at some stage, and Messi will find openings.
And that goal the fastest for Argentina so far at this 2026 FIFA World Cup. In the 10-minute mark from
Duh, Martinez langsung keharap sok.
provided by Argentina's number 10. All the digits make sense.
Yang jadi power sih Martinez deh.
Pressure from Alvarez.
Akan sih. Lu tuh yang kira orang Belanda loh, aing.
Yakin might fancy a bit of thinking space all of a sudden, the Switzerland head coach.
Romero, kalem Romero.
Robust from Romero.
Was a little bit silly. He's going nowhere. It's the halfway line. I don't think you need to clatter into him like that.
There is the FIFA Secretary General, Matthias Grafstrom, and alongside him, one of Argentina's greatest, Mario Kempes. Rolo, just a little behind but he readjusted, but then couldn't find the pass that Montoya wanted.
So, ay kira siya aja lu.
That confidence Switzerland showed in the early moments of the match have evaporated just a little bit with this Argentinian goal.
You will note the black armbands tonight as well, Argentina. Players remembering Antonio Alvaro Ratin, who has died at the age of 89. Tall, tenacious, commanding midfielder in his day, whose legacy at Boca Juniors is like few others. He spent his entire playing career there, won 5 league titles in his homeland, and he represented Argentina at 2 World Cups as well, including 1966 when he captained the national side and wore the famous number 10 jersey.
Yeah, fine.
Now the Swiss leaning on their own powers of recovery, behind for the first time in this FIFA World Cup. In fact, they were the only team that went through all the qualifying and indeed up to this very point tonight before Alexis McAllister's goal, having not been behind at any point in this World Cup cycle.
We'll see what kind of character they can show going 1-0 down against one of the world's elite.
Saying this week, Murat Yakin, that there is nothing better than having a chance to play the world champions. It has been clear that they are vulnerable. Well, doesn't feel that way right now. Alvarez is beaten to it by Akanji. And Lina is able to pluck that out of the sky.
Oh, good bro. Aduh.
Can't quite poke the ball on towards Messi. Rodriguez being hounded.
Okay, Messi, okay.
Messi comes away with it for Argentina. Might have just lost his balance, but the nature of McAllister's tenaciousness wins it back temporarily. Enjoy.
Very good counter pressing by Molina here. He had to go and press because he had vacated his spot. It's exactly what Argentina want. They want Lionel Messi on the ball, cutting inside to use that left foot of his. Well defended by Switzerland.
Korea trying a new path. Well, they just showed too much of the ball to not one but 2 Argentinian defenders, and that was enough. Foul by Rodriguez.
I think Murat Yakin will mind this. It's pressing high up the field, showing their intent again, how they wanted to start the game. Just as Lionel Messi's going to find himself with 2 or 3
Sana nomor
players
7?
around.
Roberto Baggio.
Likewise, Embolo.
MR5 itu misternya.
But it goes towards Alvarez, who has the pace to disrupt Akanji. Stuck to the task well, the Swiss defender on that occasion. There it is. Messi. Alvarez. Back to Messi. Fico, who is one of the players whose perhaps position was under an element of scrutiny, not because of poor performances, but just because of the options that Lionel Scaloni has in that left back area and whether he wanted a more defensive or attacking player to fill the position tonight. Nobody has scored more than Argentina coming into these quarterfinals. 14 in their 5 matches, now 15 in 6. There's underneath it, but without the distance he wanted to get on it, but then he crunched into the Xhaka challenge on Freuler. And Messi, with many streaming forward around him.
No, lu kalah di tukang gendui.
Messi had made that move back in field.
Well, he did. It was Akanji who blocked Messi. Very good defending. As Argentina gets their rhythm with the ball, Messi starting to drift in the number 10 areas and in these pockets. Akanji and Alvetti don't know whether to go with them or stay.
An absorbing 20 minutes so far in Kansas City. As you may have already seen, England into the semi-finals after their win following extra time against Norway earlier. Slows effort, right at Martinez.
I think Switzerland can find a lot of joy behind Paredes, in front of Romero and Lisandro Martinez, and attacking Molina's side with Ndoye.
Oh, kaudog lu. Edan.
Was perfectly placed for Alvarez and his speed, but
Offset kah?
Alvarez had a head start and
Capek-capeknya.
offside. Certainly now with be a real menace to the pace behind those in red.
He tires out, yeah. Toro Martinez to come in. This Argentinian squad is not lacking of quality.
Korea waited for So. Was met very crisply indeed by Lisandro Martinez.
Zanetti.
Argentinian stars here tonight. Javier Pastore amongst them. Roxy Rodriguez there as well.
Zanetti, legend of Inter Milan and Argentina.
We've had a little more of the ball so far, Switzerland. The scoreline clearly isn't the one that they would want, but how would you assess their first quarter of this game, Brad?
I think they started in the first 10 minutes up until Argentina scored very well. I think they were the ones pressing, they were the ones with the ball. It's just that when Lionel Messi gets the ball, he creates magic. He's had the ball a couple of times and he created 2 chances, then 2 corner kicks. One was nearly perfect, the other was perfect.
Pendek gitu Messi.
The World Cup quarterfinal, but not since 1954 have they been at this stage of the tournament.
Messi Ashish, Messi Ashish.
Martinez. Not one but 2 there, including Gibraltar.
Not bad for a centre back.
That is our moment to pause and to regenerate of what has been a really quite fascinating start to this final quarter-final in Kansas City, and Argentina leading Switzerland by a goal to nil.
Dan.
And what a beautiful goal it was as well. Messi providing McAllister with the finesse.
Yeah, just moments before he was probably an inch off of a perfect corner kick, and then when he had an opportunity to do it again, it was just an exquisite delivery, well-timed run, glancing header, nearly impossible to defend, to be honest with you. We'll try to pick the bones out of the not blocking the runner, etc. With McAllister, really good movement, goes in from behind it, Bolo in front. It's a clever little move.
Kacolongan ya.
That glancing header, he uses the power off of the strike from Messi. Gives goalkeeper no chance to save it.
Scored the last World Cup against Poland, his first of 2026 at this tournament. And a 10th, rather fittingly, FIFA World Cup assist for Lionel Messi as well. Here's the warm night in Kansas City for sure, despite the fact that it is coming up towards 8:30 local time here.
Panasnya.
Temperatures are still high and
Bagi negara Swiss ini bener-bener
will be felt by all those out there. What happened against Egypt? This will feel a much more cozy position for Argentina right now.
Yeah, but also a dangerous position. Switzerland, very good side. They're going to be able to create chances.
Been in use now, this stadium, for more than half a century, and was built actually at the same time as the baseball stadium, which sits next door, home to the Kansas City Royals. Spent about $375 million on it. Huge renovation in 2010. And they know all about cathedrals of football, don't they? So Switzerland behind, having only lost once since the start of 2025. That was a friendly to Germany. One defeat in their last 19 games. They are one of the form teams coming into this.
Absolutely, that's really.
Molina bro kosong.
They were probably
Paredes.
best in the game. Most every other game.
Paredes masih bagus aja Paredes.
Very good results. So again, if they can get an equalizer, get some confidence going in this game, they could cause Argentina problems.
Ricardo Rodriguez, who has started now 32 major tournament games in a row for Switzerland. It goes all the way back to 2014. Astonishing longevity to that. Xhaka. Freuler. Zakaria.
Bahaya sekali.
Martinez to another was very audible the way it goes by Lissandro.
So just like that run, thinking that Embolo was right behind him. Well read by Argentinian defense.
Eddie. Kanji. Rodriguez. Enjoy. Runs away.
Bahaya. Okay, good.
It's up again, and Alvarez has it, and Argentina have a free kick. look like Granit Xhaka is going to receive a yellow card, but he will be slightly nervous of the repercussions of that challenge on Rodrigo de Paul, because one yellow card would rule him out of a potential semi-final.
Yes, he knew exactly what he was doing. He just mistimed the challenge. There wasn't any intent to injure the ball. Just saw a little run by Doyle going inside that time. Lini has to keep an eye in. Romero's
Nah, Granit Xhaka itu di mana sih? Iya, Arsenal Xhaka.
Maybe something on it now without Alvarez close to him. Be a bit more assured with his touch to Zakaria. Got the pressure of Alvarez. Scampering around out there.
So, anjir.
Argentina number 9. Molina, who is quite introverted as a character, but a hard-working member of this Argentina team. Was there right back at the last World Cup as well in 2022. We'll see more than their fair portion of the ball here, Switzerland. Oh, they had to reach to get there. The chest is so. Slipped in by Reader, and Bono was on his bike ready to go. Alvarez. By Freuler. Back it goes to Paredes for Argentina to restart things again. Well, back for a touch by Messi. Let's give him Molina the room. He will continue his bombarding run as well. McAllister. Taken back by Switzerland. Rodriguez asking too much of Ndoye, but Ndoye has gone away from De Paul here. Forward towards Mbolo. Martinez comes out. Overwent Mbolo, but the Portuguese official was in a very good place to say no free kick, but Ndoye takes it back, but illegally, and now it is an Argentina free kick.
Well, first glance, this looks like a wonderful save. He knows he's going to collide. See Embolo making that run, splitting the defenders. It's a mistake initially by Alessandro Martinez. Misses the ball. And this is really brave goalkeeping by Andy Martinez. You know you're going to take one on the shins or the foot or the leg or in the head, but you got to go down. Switzerland are showing signs.
Martinez of Aston Villa, but there is plenty of speculation bubbling away about his future and a possible move to Italian side Juventus. Akanji, who turns 31 on the day of the World Cup final, which is now just 8 days away. Well, maybe. Xhaka. So.
Udah gak ada lu lagi ya, agak seru.
Offside Sevilla in Spain. Still waiting for his first ever Swiss international goal. So right at the base of that Switzerland midfield, that is where you will find him almost always. So we're back to the tempo setter, Xhaka. Lifted forward looking for Ndoye again, and the intervention needed from Molina.
Yeah, it's on this left-hand side for Switzerland again. Ndoye, even Lionel Messi was coming back that time to defend. Perhaps Brian Joachim's thinking the inclusion of Vargas in the second half, if it stays 1-0, he's got similar pace to that of Ndoye.
Now the Arena then to try and initiate the Swiss response. Now Reader's won the free kick. Whereas perhaps not wholly comfortable trying to do defensive duties like that.
Well, I think the shot was louder than the foul, but the referee did get it correct. Again, in a dangerous area.
Là Xhaka kan biasanya.
And then Freuler, alongside Fabian Reader there. Very big player for Bologna this season, Freuler. 9 years now as part of the Switzerland national team. Leaves it. Reader spins it in, and Martinez's punch has some purpose on it.
Kayak gini loh Argentina kalau udah 1-0 kayak kalah.
Leandro Paredes, who is penalised for doing what Leandro Paredes loves to do.
Behind under his Achilles.
It was his tackle actually right at the end of that Egypt game with the scoreline at 2-2 that ultimately instigated the Argentina win, because 1 minute and 34 seconds later they did go and win the game through Enzo Fernandez. He broke up certainly a 2-on-1, maybe even a 3-on-1 situation with that Egypt attack. He just cross floats behind. Could become only the second coach in history, Lionel Scaloni, to win the FIFA Men's World Cup in consecutive tournaments. The only person in that very exclusive club right now is the Italian Vittorio Pozzo. His record has stood almost 100 years, having won it twice with Italy in 1934 and again in 1938. We have been around Kansas City for the past few days, and you cannot turn a street corner without seeing the light blue and white of Argentina.
And how many Switzerland shirts I've seen? A lot of the blue and white, that's for sure.
I don't think I've seen a single shirt without the number 10 on the back either. Freuler. Some Korea. Freuler. Just looking for that ball towards Ndoye again. It was too high for him that time.
Right thinking, wrong execution. You want to get the ball to Ndoye's feet as much as possible. He's the one who's been causing Argentina any problems for Switzerland.
They've had an attempt on goal for either team for the past 18 minutes now.
Ngantuk Argentina juga ngapain? Oh cuman karena udah 1-0.
Nigeria in the round of 32, Colombia in the round of 16. Lost their previous
Nyerang, pecah.
knockout matches. First time that Switzerland have ever won successive knockout games of the World Cup. Korea trying to burst his way through and has run into Tagliafico, run into trouble with the Portuguese official because of it.
And when you have a player facing his own goal, there's no need to foul behind. You can put the pressure on without pushing. The moment you do push out your arm or put any pressure on the defender, they fall over. I say 9 times out of 10, the referees call a foul.
Mal itu. Lu kalah gitu loh anjing.
The sway of red on the match momentum. 22 minutes so far tonight in Kansas City.
Lu kalah
The
loh.
referee is starting to become a bit annoyed at time wasting. Argentina's throw-ins. He was giving Emi Martinez an earful moments ago.
And Martinez together, and the decision has gone the way of the Swiss forward. Hasn't had his big chance in front of goal tonight, bar an opportunity that was snuffed out by Emi Martinez. But you know that he may very well take it when it comes along.
Absolutely right. The link-up play with Endoy, and I'm sure Xhaka will hope that so on the right-hand side, and Reader will also help him.
That's Mbolo giving the ball away.
Okay.
And this is Messi.
Oh no.
Alvarez couldn't reach it, and back it goes just from the Kanji to goalkeeper Corbel.
It was a loose touch by Mbolo, but he did the next best thing. He tracked all the way back to the top of his box to help with the defending. You don't see every striker doing that.
Sweet.
Xhaka, who was talking this week about it being a different Switzerland in 2026 with a different mentality. Broiler, Rodriguez.
Bagus.
The old brigade. That's challenged by Paredes outside the penalty area.
That is absolutely not needed. And this is in the most dangerous position of any free kick that Switzerland's had. Best option would have been to stay on his feet.
Udah deh.
There is Patrick Mahomes, one of the faces of NFL. Certainly around here. So is there about to be a moment for the door to open for Switzerland just before half-time?
Much more difficult for goalkeepers to deal with
Iya ya lu juga Viking kan Switch.
from this sort of position.
Skandinavian.
Very difficult to come out and get the ball.
Four in red inside Emi Martinez's 6-yard box. That's where Freuler has sent it, but he's put too much power on it.
That is a missed opportunity. This is in a wonderful position for Switzerland. Difficult for defenders and goalkeepers. Just gets under the ball too much.
Why Messi? Why?
Assist tonight, Argentina's lead. Actually, strangely enough, it's a second assist of the World Cup for Lionel Messi, but prior to that, no Argentina player had gone beyond a single assist at this tournament. Paredes sent to ground by Mbolo, who is not too happy perhaps with the perceived theatrics of the Argentinian. Shall see how much contact there was. Is it looking?
Paredes dishes out as much as he
Emang
can
gimana?
take.
Tanam paling kecil.
First yellow card of the evening goes to
Lu
Mbolo of
putih anjing.
Switzerland.
Ah.
And it is. He did catch him. There was the follow through. That could be a little payback for a couple of knocks that he's probably received from Paredes.
Paredes payback. I'm sure that is a line that's been talked about in the dressing rooms of various teams before. Will feel that is a bit of a waste, and we are 30 seconds away from finding out how long is to be added on at the end of this first half, and it is still a slender Argentina lead provided by Alexis McAllister. Mbolo is fighting for all he's worth.
He's won the yellow card. He's getting annoyed at the holding, the wrapping two arms around Mbolo almost every time he's getting the ball. Here you see Sandro Martinez holding onto his arm.
So move back quickly.
Wah, itu tadi perit-perit terus anjing. Offset.
4 additional minutes at the end of the 45.
I like the forward run. I like the
Lu putih
shots
banget,
on
bro.
it. Just missed time pass.
Giginya.
Drifted offside by a yard.
First time at this stadium tonight for Switzerland. They've had the fortune of
Aing juga kuning nih, aduh.
City for the past 3 games, which
Emang beda negara, beda perawatan nih.
and Samtram before that, so the Swiss have solely been on the west coast of the United States and Canada. And training camp in San Diego as well, so very different climate tonight. And just enough on it to locate Zakaria. He's penalised. I'm not sure what that was for.
Maybe he thought through his shoulder in, but
What?
the referee has been very good so far in this first half. But that's the only thing he gets wrong in the game, and then people would forget.
Andrew Paredes, who is back at Boca Juniors now for his second spell, but it's been with PSG and Roma and Juventus on his mightily impressive footballing journey. Gets it back again from that free kick.
Lu kenapa sih Tagliafico dari tadi?
Will have another set piece and just edged them a little closer to danger from a Swiss perspective.
Yeah, this was a little bit unlucky. He had his eyes on the ball. Tagliafico did a very smart thing and got his foot in between the ball and the player.
Many of the Argentinian fans around us here are on their feet, waving the blue and white scarves as Messi and Argentina go in search of another goal before half-time. This is De Paul, Molina, Romero. Martinez just assessing the scene. Barrow turned around the corner for Molina. Tried to flick it on towards De Paul. He clears for Switzerland. And back by Martinez via the aerial route. Good win by Ndoye. That was really brave because he would have sensed the hit was coming. And it came with some force too.
Ndoye wins the ball. It's very late by Molina. Because right after you hit the ball, your body relaxes just a little bit, and that's when the hit came.
Permainanmu kenapa sih kalau udah 1-0 kayak kalem kayak
Argentina very close to having a half-time lead courtesy of him.
kayak gak ada.
This World Cup for Alexis McAllister, but yet another goal involvement for Lionel Messi from the corner to deliver it perfectly onto the head. Certainly not the tallest on the pitch, Alexis McAllister, but he made his presence felt when it mattered. Switzerland with plenty of possession, but not necessarily the penetration to breach Argentina. And at half-time in Kansas City, it is Argentina 1, Switzerland 0.
Ini yang saya sukai. Berekspresi membawa pesan yang positif. Kalau panas dalam, bantu redakan dengan yang ada batang.
Nanti temen belanja bulanan, beli baju,
Akan kuhadapi dunia, tapi Indo mencoba dulu.
Introducing the ultimate protein drink. Lengkap dengan 16 gram protein. Power up with our protein packed drinks only at Starbucks.
Ya pemirsa, baru saja kita saksikan hasil sementara di babak pertama dan tentunya ini bagaimana George interview dengan Roberto Ayala.
Bueno, sí, pudimos abrir el partido de esa forma. Siempre le decimos que en estos partidos, en estos torneos, es muy importante, sea a favor como en contra, estar preparado, trabajar. Son 10 segundos de atención que te pueden dar una mano.
Entregarle la pelota al rival al principio del partido fue una decisión técnica.
Intentamos nosotros tenerla, pero bueno, la presión y el no querer arriesgar también nos llevó a que por ahí no tengamos tanto la pelota como en otros partidos.
Por último, preguntarte, ¿el plan original es hoy terminar el partido más tranquilo?
El plan es poder pasar. Esperemos poder cerrar el partido.
Muchas gracias.
Patrick Folletti behält gut mit, nur das Gegengoal. Sie sind ja bei den städtischen Standards immer involviert. Was ist falsch gelaufen?
Ja, ist einfach gut geschossen. Sie haben den Wisch zwischen unsere freien Bahn. Haben wir gewusst, dass der McAllister dort stark ist. Zwischen der ersten und zweiten sind wir erwischt worden. Das ist ärgerlich. Aber das Wichtigste ist, dass wir im Spiel drin sind und ist alles noch möglich.
Wo von der Aufmerksamkeit beim Moment beim Standard?
Ja, ist einfach gut geschossen. Haben die Durchsage vorwärts schauen. Jetzt müssen wir einfach defensiv weiter so gut stehen. Das machen wir halt gut, wenn wir die Zwischenräume finden, damit wir gefährlich auch den Abschluss werden können.
Sie in der Offensive, sobald man Rhythmuswechsel drin hat, kreiert man etwas. Muss das noch ein bisschen häufiger kommen?
Genau, sie probieren das Spiel zu töten, wenn ich so sagen darf. Und das ist sicher jetzt etwas, wo wir besser machen müssen.
Viel Erfolg.
Danke.
Yang pemirsa itulah bagaimana statistik pertandingan di babak pertama di mana Argentina 1, Swiss 1, dan kita lihat bagaimana position control 48% berbanding 3%, ada kanat gol 3 berbanding 3, on targetnya 1 berbanding 1, dan XG cukup kecil 0,13 berbanding 0,08, dan 2 corner dari Argentina, 1 bagi Swiss. Kalau melihat dari statistik, sepertinya memang tidak terlalu menonjol ya, hanya saja 1 peluang, 1 gol didapatkan oleh Messi.
Iya, ini menarik tadi wawancara pihak interview pelatih Argentina, presenter menanyakan apakah pertandingan ini agak mudah buat Argentina. Dia bilang belum tentu juga. Nanti kita lihat babak kedua katanya.
Ya, ini bagaimana head-to-head dari Alexis McAllister dan juga Xhaka.
Ya, Alexis McAllister menjadi pemain pembeda di pertandingan kali ini. Memang tidak terlalu banyak peluang yang dapat oleh Argentina, tapi satu sundulan McAllister memanfaatkan corner kick dari Lionel Messi ini menjadi pembeda di pertandingan kali ini, membuat Argentina sementara unggul dan memaksa Swiss mau tidak mau akhirnya bermain terbuka.
Ya, kita lihat memang tidak banyak peluang terjadi, dan ini bagaimana final third entries dari Argentina 17 kali, sedangkan Swiss 29 kali. Dan justru yang menarik adalah Swiss justru lebih banyak persaingan masuk ke daerah sepertiga lapangan dari Argentina.
Iya, mereka sebenarnya terpaksa harus keluar setelah mereka kebobolan di menit ke-10. Hingga bermain terbuka karena kalau planning awalnya mungkin mereka agak menunggu, tetapi kebobolan di awal di menit 10 akhirnya membuat mereka memaksa mereka untuk bermain keluar, dan Argentina pun juga bermain lebih deep defending ya, dan mengandalkan kecepatan. Dan kalau kita lihat dari peluang-peluang yang mereka miliki, sama-sama mempunyai 3 tendangan. Kemudian Argentina hanya melakukan 1 set, dan kalau kita lihat jumlah passing memang Swiss lebih banyak 250 passing dibandingkan Argentina yang 192 passing, tapi passingnya Swiss mungkin lebih banyak yang di daerah sendiri atau negatif passing.
Ya, kalau Ais melihat apakah ini penampilan Argentina yang diharapkan oleh fans? Apakah Anda melihat memang ini sudah diprediksi sebelumnya akan seperti itu pertandingan berlangsung?
Ya, Argentina ngegas di menit awal ya, tapi setelah dapat gol di menit 10 mereka agak bermain tempo, mereka agak mundur ke belakang, membuat barikade pertahanan yang sangat solid ya, low block ya. Ini yang membuat kesempatan buat Swiss untuk bisa tampil lebih menyerang. Nah, memang tampaknya di sinilah strateginya Lionel Scaloni, karena paham ya tidak semua pemain Argentina muda. Lionel Messi 39 tahun, De Paul juga 32 tahun, sehingga mereka mengatur tempo, bermain on off ya. Dan tapi paling tidak sejauh ini efektif. Ini kita lihat sebuah umpan dari Lionel Messi dituntaskan menjadi gol pertama Alexis McAllister di ajang kali ini.
Ya, ini gol yang dari satu mati. Karena kita lihat Swiss cukup rapi dalam open play. Dan ini apakah ada kesalahan misalnya
Ya,
di posisi pemain di dalam kotak penalti?
iya, kalau kita lihat 3 pemain Swiss di depan itu dia adalah zona marking, dia tanpa memegang lawan ya. Yang salah adalah siapa yang marking Alistair ketika dia lari dari belakang nih. Tidak ada penjagaan karena pemain yang di depan itu fokus melihat bola, dan akhirnya Alistair datang dari daerah di belakang pertahanan, kemudian tanpa mengawal dia mengambil posisi sangat bebas sekali.
Ya, kalau ini gol di menit ke-10, yang membuat pertandingan jadi berubah ya. Lebih kendali jelas dipegang oleh Argentina, tapi mereka bermain lebih low block. Mereka bukan lebih sabar di sisa waktu babak pertama tadi.
Ya, ini merupakan kali pertama dari 6 pertandingan yang dilalui oleh Swiss di mana mereka ketinggalan lebih dulu.
Ya.
Sebelumnya 5 pertandingan lainnya mereka tidak pernah ketinggalan lebih dulu. Ini tentu menjadi ujian berat buat Murad Yakin ya. Apakah dia masih tetap yakin untuk bisa membalikan keadaan, karena belum berpengalaman untuk comeback di 5 pertandingan sebelumnya.
Ya, kembali dari angle yang berbeda. Nah, kalau melihat babak kedua, perlukah sebuah strategi khusus bagi Swiss misalnya untuk bisa keluar dari ketertinggalan ini?
Iya, ada 2 kemungkinan dia. Mereka mulai dari awal melakukan pressing, tetapi ada risiko juga ketika mereka pressing di atas. Yang dihadapi adalah Messi dan kawan-kawan yang juga cukup cepat dalam melakukan counter attack. Ini juga perlu menjadi perhatian. Walaupun mereka bermain sangat-sangat terbuka, tentunya ketika paruh babak kedua mau habis ya, karena kalau tidak bisa menyusul mereka harus mengejar ketertinggalan di sisa menit yang ada.
Ya, kembali ini peluang didapatkan oleh pemain Swiss, tapi memang cukup susah bagi Sol ya, untuk bisa melakukan sebuah tendangan yang keras atau mengganggu Eden Martins.
Ya, ini satu-satunya shot on target yang didapat oleh Swiss di depan kali ini. Tapi memang mereka mendapatkan banyak peluang, ini kita lihat salah satunya. Ya, ini bola 50-50 ya, sehingga wasit tidak melihat VAR.
Ya, kembali ke dalam taktik strategi untuk bisa membongkar defense diamond yang dimiliki oleh Argentina. Apakah perlu menambah jumlah pemain di tengah, Coach?
Pasti mereka harus menang jumlah di lapangan tengah, karena dengan formasi 4-4-2 diamond, 4 belakangnya Argentina itu hanya sampai garis tengah, Tio. Dia tidak pernah naik ke atas. Dia menjaga keseimbangan, menjaga counter attack lawan, dan hanya 4 diamond mereka yang berputar bersilih berganti. Bahkan kadang-kadang Lionel Messi masuk posisi gelandang untuk menjadikan 4 diamond itu. Nah, ini yang harus disiasati, seperti ketika lawan Argentina, di mana Cape Verde dan Messi, mereka menambahkan jumlah pemain di sisi samping, karena dengan formasi 4-4-2 diamond itu sisi samping itu pasti mereka kalah jumlah, maka harus dimanfaatkan kecepatan di sisi samping. Dan ini tentunya PR buat Swiss, karena Swiss tidak mempunyai banyak pemain yang cukup baik bermain di sisi samping.
Dan ini menjadi satu kendala ketika dalam squad Swiss apakah mampu untuk bisa membuat perubahan signifikan ya. Tapi mereka tentunya memiliki kelebihan dari materi pemain yang memang cukup muda, lebih fresh dibandingkan Argentina.
Iya, Argentina ini terlalu beresiko ya. Saya pikir jika mereka bermain terlalu low block, jangan lupa Argentina di 3 pertandingan terakhir mereka tidak ada free kick satupun. Mereka kebobolan 1 gol menghadapi Jordania, mereka kebobolan 2 gol menghadapi Tanjung Verde, dan menghadapi Mesir mereka kebobolan 2 gol. Artinya dari 3 pertandingan mereka kebobolan 5 gol, ini harus di warning dalam penerapan strategi Lionel Scaloni. Jangan terlalu low block, karena dengan mereka bermain low block ini memberi kesempatan buat pemain Swiss lebih dekat dengan gawangnya Argentina ya. Potensi Swiss untuk bisa menyamakan skor cukup tinggi.
Ya, Coach Ian, kenapa Messi jarang mendapatkan bola di babak pertama? Apakah ini memang sudah menjadi satu strategi khusus dari para taktik?
Pertama, karena Messi memang tidak banyak menerima umpan atau passing sebelum dia masuk ke sepertiga pertahanan lawan. Jadi Messi hanya banyak berjalan menunggu di depan. Ketika bola datang, barulah Messi bereaksi. Dan kalau kita lihat tadi, Messi tidak mendapatkan penjagaan ketat, cuman memang di fase setelah 10 menit tadi memang Swiss lebih ketat melakukan permainan ke depannya dan lebih banyak melakukan attacking transisi ya. Dan ini tentunya membuat Messi akhirnya kadang-kadang juga ikut masuk ke gelandang ya.
Ya, kita akan menunggu ya apakah ada pergantian khusus dilakukan oleh kedua pelatih, khususnya bagi Swiss. Karena saya lihat ada beberapa nama yang mungkin bisa menjadi pilihan ya. Ada Noah Pofor, yang tampil cukup bagus di level klub. Kita akan lihat apakah juga ada Denny Zakaria yang bisa dicoba di tengah, satu gelandang yang juga box to box. Tapi tentunya ini sesuai dengan kebutuhan ya.
Ya, kalau kita lihat beberapa nama ya, seperti di depan mereka masih punya Zeki Andoni, kemudian Cedric Pippen juga bisa jadi dipersiapkan untuk bisa menambah daya gedor dari Swiss. Karena tadi dengan Argentina yang sedikit tampil low block membuat mereka punya banyak peluang, punya banyak kesempatan untuk menguasai ball position. Bahkan ball position tadi kita lihat di statistik lebih unggul Swiss sedikit dibanding dari Argentina.
Ya, kalau melihat tentunya di babak kedua bagi Argentina untuk bisa lebih banyak variasi serangan bola kepada Messi, apakah perlu perubahan atau namun mereka akan mempertahankan cara bermain seperti itu katanya?
Sejauh ini pasti Scaloni akan mempertahankan karena sukses ya di 45 menit awal. Kemudian mereka akan melihat bagaimana reaksi dari Swiss di 10 menit babak kedua nanti mulai, dan mungkin dari situ Scaloni baru akan memikirkan taktikal apa yang harus dia lakukan, dan menunggu juga apakah Swiss melakukan pergantian, maka perlu tactical flexibility yang dilakukan.
Ya, kita lihat ada halftime show ya. Ini jadi satu hal yang baru di Piala Dunia, sepanjang sejarah Piala Dunia ini baru pertama kali, dan itu menjadi satu hal yang menarik sekali. Pada 15 menit waktu istirahat digunakan oleh suatu acara baru, halftime show.
Ya sebetulnya ini juga sudah terjadi di tahun lalu ya, di Qatar juga. Tapi memang di Amerika sedikit berbeda.
Masanya beda ya?
Bukannya lebih berbeda, mereka terlihat lebih mewah ya karena memang entertain dikemas dengan sedemikian rupa ya di Amerika. Jagoannya memang seperti itu, Bang.
Ya, sudah berapa persen? Persen Argentina lolos ke semifinal.
Sejauh ini dengan 1 golnya sudah 70%.
Iya. Tapi tadi kita akan lihat ya, karena pas babak kedua apapun bisa terjadi. Apalagi tadi Ais sudah katakan Argentina selalu kebobolan dalam 3 pertandingan terakhir. Ini menjadi satu hal yang harus diwaspadai karena kita lihat para pemain Swiss memiliki kecepatan juga.
Betul. Ya, saya pikir Argentina akan di awal babak kedua mereka akan kembali tampil ngegas ya.
Ini yang saya sukai. Berekspresi, membawa pesan yang positif. Kalau panas dalam, bantu redakan dengan yang ada badan.
2026. The FIFA World Cup is coming, and we can't wait. Berasal dari air pegunungan Bali dan Kat, berat amat iklannya, ringan aja lah. Dengan pH seimbang, rasanya ringan di tenggorokan, bikin nyaman di lambung. Kristalin, bikin hidup lebih ringan.
Kapan nikah? Makin berumur loh, berat amat pertanyaannya. Ya ringan aja lah.
Dengan pH seimbang, rasanya ringan di tenggorokan, bikin nyaman di lambung. Kristalin bikin hidup lebih ringan.
Yang pemirsa kalau play kembali pertandingan babak besar dan kita akan melihat apakah akan ada kejutan di babak kedua. Inilah babak kedua dari Kansas City Stadium. Argentina menghadapi Swiss. Selamat menyaksikan.
Right now, Switzerland experiencing something they haven't at any point in this World Cup so far. They are behind in a game of football. So for Alfredo, if they are to fluster the world champions, what do they need to do in the second half?
Well, I imagine they're going to play very similar as they did in the first half up until at least the hydration break. If they still find themselves down 1-0, perhaps they'll make a couple substitutions, but be a little bit more risky in the attacking third, in the final third. Maybe try to go forward a little bit quicker, bring on somebody like a Vargas on the right-hand side. At some stage, you're going to have to go for it because your World Cup ends if you lose tonight. I think they were frustrating Argentina at times in the first half.
Messi for DePaul, and DePaul for the goal scorer McAllister. Messi and DePaul trying to repeat that combination. Rodriguez chips it upfield and very accurately as well to locate Mbolo. And for the first time in this second half, Switzerland enter Argentina territory with Zakaria. And back to him from So. No changes for either at half time. There's Remo Freuler. Zakaria. Already. Comfortable Argentina with him having the ball even on the periphery of the Argentinian penalty area. But again here, the Swiss centre half. That's Rieder, whose turn was sharp, and the deflection is kind for Martinez.
And everyone from Argentina is packed into a really tight defensive shape, with the exception of Lionel Messi, who is drifting on the far side of the pitch, just waiting for the ball to come out.
To naturally have an attempt in that first half, Lionel Messi, and that's not happened at all in the first half of any game at this World Cup.
And Switzerland are very good defensively. You did see moments when Lionel Messi got the ball in the first half, and he was very quick-footed. got a couple of opportunities right away, but he was quiet for the remainder of the half since the McAllister goal.
McAllister goal that came early in the first half, and Switzerland looking for a response early in the second. He's whipped in by Fabian Rieder and caught by Emi Martinez.
Yeah, Switzerland's service has been quite poor up to now. They had a couple of free kicks in good areas in the first half and wasted them, just wasted another.
This is Nicolas Tagliafico in his third World Cup now with Argentina. So Fernandez disrupted by Zakaria. Will have to get a shift on.
Had a hard time shifting his feet on that one. I think he was had in his mind to take a touch at first.
It's waited a long time, didn't he, to become Swiss first choice number one with Jan Sommer. Not that we had endless summers of Sommer, didn't it, with all those major tournaments that he played for Switzerland. Borussia Dortmund man, Korbel has got his chance now. Spin from Messi and then a
Good.
ball through.
Terlalu cepet siapa?
Taken quickly under
Molina.
Oh, no trouble for Korbel.
Lu oper si Alvarez.
Really well weighted ball.
Kosong.
I think if he had to do it over again, he would have a look up and see a player just standing right on the penalty spot. Possibly the better option.
It was Alvarez lurking, wasn't it, for that potential ball from Molina. Bolo trying to time his run, and the pass is terrific to find him. And Bolo squares it for 1-1, but what a tackle that is. Martinez denied Ndoye, who would have been denied anyway by an offside flag.
Well, he wasn't to know the offside flag was there, but moments ago, Argentina should have laid one off, and Bolo did just that. Martinez wasn't to know either. Either Martinez, I should say. Emi Martinez in goal, Lisandro Martinez with just a superb tackle. Had a lot of ground to cover, and Bolo did everything right. Ndoye perhaps could have hit it first time. What a block.
He's got the World Cup from Qatar 2022 tattooed on him, Lisandro Martinez. Sort of challenge that makes you wonder whether he might have another tattoo coming his way in a couple of weeks' time. Collected by Messi, dancing through, but not all the way through. And then Zakaria releasing Gibril So for Switzerland. And Bolo back to So. Wide is Xhaka, who could do nothing about it, and Alvarez for Argentina with De Paul and Messi as options. Alvarez again. It's a corner, spinning away.
The game's just briefly opened up. Switzerland gave away a loose pass, and Alvarez was on it in a flash.
Hungry, isn't he, for that World Cup goal? And he'll be hungry for another one tonight, Messi. 5 games in a row where he has scored. No player has ever scored in 6 successive World Cup games. Messi, cheap creator already tonight from a corner. And that wasn't a bad one either. It was just too high from Enzo Fernandez.
Oh, it's really difficult. Doesn't matter how tall you are, when the ball is hit like that with such pace and you get a run on the defenders, it's timed so well. You got just a little bit too much on it. But very similar in the first half of McAllister's goal.
Okay, trying to squeeze it through the lines. Martinez beaten 4 times in his last 2 games. Clean sheet so far tonight, but not without the present alerts of those in red.
Martinez sudah lah.
We all remember that brilliant save 4 years ago in the final from Kolo Muani, which in so many ways won the World Cup for Argentina.
One of the best saves that I've ever seen, and one of the biggest moments of a game.
How about that for a ball as well, from goalkeeper to forward, Martinez to actually Molina, who'd come all the way up from the right back position. The delivery was too close to call.
Yeah, that was some distribution by Emi Martinez. Don't think enjoyed that track back.
A few times now, Nahuel Molina has got into those advanced areas. Callister trying to return the favour to Messi. Paredes. To Paul. By Martinez, and then turn towards Alvarez. Fico. Paul showing just too much of it, and now Dan Ndoye, whose pace was a problem at times for Argentina in the first half, but not when he's disrupted by challenges like that, it won't be an issue. For the Albiceleste, that was Romero.
Oh, good tackle by Romero, well timed. Both teams have been loose in their passing ring.
Martinez
The
looks
last
that
few
time.
minutes.
So's cross is a good one, and the knockdown for Xhaka. Switzerland tried to find the gap, and they just couldn't in the end. Rodrigo the Paul putting himself in the way. That's Paredes down.
Well, both teams have given away the ball needlessly the last 5 or 6 minutes, giving each other opportunities to score. This time it was Ndoye just taking 1 or 2 extra touches. This time it was a giveaway.
Tolonglah kecolongan terus.
Alessandro Martinez.
Goci Xhaka itu. Cuman
It's a good recovery, wasn't it, from Paredes? I think just the kick through from Ndoye has done the damage.
kekuatan lu.
Very good recovery. It could have been a little knee on knee.
Very much one of Scaloni's foot soldiers, Leandro Paredes.
Yeah, you won't want to lose him. He's that steel in front of his back four.
So Switzerland restart where they were with Freuler. Xhaka. Okay. So it's also otherwise.
Ndoye might have thought otherwise, but I think the referee got it correct.
Argentina kok masih lupa cuma karena 1 gol doang lo.
Perhaps it's to be expected, really, considering there are 5 times as many people living in Argentina than Switzerland, which is a country in Europe home to around 9 million, a landlocked European country as well. I think solely from a footballing perspective, they often peer enviously at their neighbours, and that might still be the case with France, but look what else has happened this summer. Germany gone, Austria gone, Italy who never arrived. Whatever happens tonight, these have been sweet days for Switzerland. And still they continue to tease. Xhaka took his eye off the ball and it was costly.
Switzerland are getting themselves into some decent situations on the field, in good places on the field. They got to have a little bit more belief in themselves. So Golo's getting very agitated by the referee not protecting him on the field.
Alistair in a cul-de-sac was trying to find his way out of it before the assistance from the official. Very pleased to have got himself on the score sheet tonight, Alexis McAllister, because the goals ran dry in his final 6 games of his 16 games, I should say, of his top season with Liverpool.
Come on lah bro, nyerang. Bola dibikin deh, gimana sih Argentina? Main udah 1-0 langsung jelek main lu.
Content with Switzerland having more of the ball.
Dipikir Switzerland ingat kocak semifinal.
And Bolo and Martinez have the situation under control.
Really difficult to generate power on a cross like this. It was chipped in. It's right over the top of his head. He did well just to get it towards the goal.
Molina high up the pitch again. It is without doubt a designated tactic tonight from Scaloni.
Absolutely. When Martinez gets the ball and they're trying to take a little time out of the game, it's Molina that goes up on that right-hand side. Also forces Adoy to go back and defend deeper.
Alistair. It's Tagliafico of Lyon, where he has been for the past 4 years in France. So just getting carried away by the intensity of that few seconds.
Yeah, things are getting a little bit feisty on the pitch.
It's been simmering though, hasn't it, this?
It has, without a doubt. The one that did catch the referee's attention was a foul. It was sewn right through the back.
Mana main pun.
The fanatic of tattoos, Alexis McAllister, who's got the date of his debut tattooed on his body. He's got a roulette wheel as well with all the shirt numbers that he's ever worn. Messi, who through the years has provided the ink to this Argentina team, the one who writes the history. Who is placing the ball down, but it is Messi who will bend it in. Switzerland clear as far as Simbolo, who powers forward and now maybe can release Ndoye. And Argentina on the retreat. Dan Ndoye for Switzerland. Behind it goes from Molina. It's a corner.
Really good break, really well defended. Good ball by Embolo, and he bursts into the box. See the Argentinian players trying to get back. Look at that. It ended up being a 3v6.
Okay, McBetty, Gelson Fernandez.
Xhaka lu gak jago ngumpan kan, biasanya midfielder jago ngumpan.
Ball was just too high for Akanji. Retrieved by Freuler. We've gone beyond the hour now, and Switzerland still trailing through that early McAllister goal. Here's Akanji. Rodriguez.
Boring sekali matchnya.
Xhaka.
Lu kemasukan panik ya. Jadi lawan Cape Verde lo, serius lo.
Switzerland probing Embolo. And it's come back his way too, and Ndoye, who is fighting for all he's worth. Reader's got it to Rodriguez, and Ndoye's header, and Martinez for the first time tonight really is needed in the Argentina goal.
Well, Argentina are playing a dangerous game. They're not getting pressure to the ball. They're allowing Switzerland to have a lot of it.
Away again, as so nips in to take it back to Switzerland.
And it was indeed a very good save by Emi Martinez.
But, bro.
In terms of controlling the possession, this is Switzerland's best spell of the game. Xhaka from distance, and Martinez.
Kade lo anjir, yang saya 2 kali lo kiper nu ngelakuin kesalahan, ya Allah.
Good pace on the ball down to the left. He kept the ball close enough to him. We've seen a couple of balls spilling out in other games. But there's an extra little zip on this one.
And perhaps recognizing the severity of the situation, Switzerland are moving through the gears.
Yeah, they're starting to really apply more pressure. You see Rodriguez is going forward. Zakari on this side on the right hand side is going forward. But Argentina are not getting pressure to the ball like they did in the first half.
Reader with time to turn, and Bolo. Again, he just has not had a moment tonight, Brelin Bolo, where he hasn't had either Lisandro Martinez or Christian Romero right up behind him. But just like against Cape Verde in the round of 32, and just like against Egypt in the round of 16, there are Argentinian nerves everywhere. Rodriguez, Ndoye breaches and scores beyond the Argentina defense.
Kenapa sih main bertahan? Asli tolol, tolol. Nggak, emang pantas gol kan setelah titit tapi gol lagi jauh bertahan.
5 or 10 minutes. A lot of touches on the ball for Switzerland, a lot of opportunities. Argentina's been sitting off. We said in the first half, and Doy is the problem man for Argentina. And it's just a wonderful little 1-2 between he and Rodriguez. Opens his foot up, gives Emi Martinez very little chance. He also had Embolo, who made a great run. He could have played it across the goal. Just a wonderful bit of football.
Scored a huge goal against Germany in the European Championships 2 years ago, down in Doy. And this one will sit amongst his greats too, because it has pinned back the world champions here. And once more, Argentina in a World Cup knockout game in 2026 have got some work to do.
Yeah, they're second best at this moment in time. Switzerland started the second half really well. And now with that goal, they're going to have that extra bit of belief.
I think Paredes is about to receive a yellow card. That ongoing battle between him and Lionel has another chapter. No, Ford is not very happy with something that Paredes has said to him there. But there is eminently frustration amongst these Argentinian players.
Absolutely. And Embolo has been a handful. Every time Embolo's holding up the ball, the Argentinian players are wrapping their arms around him. They're kicking him. I could see one of the Argentinian players.
Mes unggul teh langsung iya.
Embolo's also on a booking, so he's going to have to keep his cool.
And Scaloni on the roller coaster of emotions again. Now, this is interesting. Referee has been sent to the screen here. Suggestion of mistaken identity.
Naon woi itu mah diving.
Is whether
Diving lah kocak.
simulated rather than
Diving.
contact from Paredes.
Siapa sih itu? Embolo.
Could have a case. It looks like he's jumped in the air right there before any contact at all.
Emang tapi
Well, this would be such a shame for Switzerland if the booking gets taken away and Embolo gets a booking. That would be his second.
Well, these are nervous moments, I think, for the Swiss players, the Swiss coaching staff.
Tai lah bikin ini wae dari kemarin. Anjir lu merah. Ya lu ngapain sih diving? Nanti dia katain anak FIFA lagi. Tolol sih malah merah.
This is quite remarkable.
Ya lu ngapain diving, Wocak? Lu ngapain diving?
Upset with a decision like this in a game of this magnitude. I feel really sorry for Embolo.
But that's diving, bro. Lu harusnya ngerti.
Now is that the Swiss players keep their head. They're in the ascendancy. They've been playing really well this second half.
He is having to be pulled away, Embolo. He is visibly distraught. That was the challenge at the end of the first half that brought him a yellow card. And now Mbolo's night is over, and you can see that he is devastated by this turn of events.
Lu jangan diving makanya kocak.
Well, it's a time for cool, calm heads from the Swiss players. Certain substitution is going to have to be made by Switzerland to get another front runner on the pitch.
Malah parahnya orang tahu ngapain lu diving lu udah kartu kuning lu. Ngapain diving? Lu kartu kuning ngapain diving anjing? Langsung aja dikatain anak pipa lagi ya, anak pipa lagi. Lu ngapain diving kocak? Oh.
Believing that they could create the biggest shot.
Yeah, the table had really turned. Argentina looked lackluster, looked void of thought. But the Swiss players will still be full of confidence. They're just going to have to do a little bit more defending.
Baru lu nyerang anjir.
Enzo Fernandez. Tagliafico. Flag is up.
Offset. Yeah, offset lu terlalu jauh, cok.
Linesman was in great position.
And the discussions will go on, I'm sure, during this hydration break with the scoreline 1-1 between Argentina and Switzerland. Well, you're right, Switzerland need to find a way to mentally reset the heads now.
Yeah, they were well in the ascendancy. They had done everything correct in the second half. They were the ones with all the possession. They were the ones creating the chances. You just saw the Argentinian players picking up a lot of fouls, a lot of nasty little challenges, and then this happens. So important, so difficult to do, by the way, what I'm going to say next, but so important that this team stays together, stay as a group, defend. It's not easy breaking down two banks of four, as we've seen many times in this tournament. I imagine Brayakin's going to bring on another substitute up front, maybe some fresh legs. Maybe it is a Vargas, but he comes in as a 9 to really try to hold the ball up and get the odd chance. This game's not over by a million miles, because this Swiss team has started so well in the second half, creating that goal on the screen. Beautiful piece of play. And they're going to think they're going to definitely be able to see this out, if not score a goal on their own on the counter-attack.
Martinez beats him for the third knockout round game in a row at this World Cup. Switzerland have had their third player sent off in a World Cup game with that red for Brandon Bolo, Baton Barami in 2010, Michael Lang in 2018. But they still hope, they still believe. And I think the power of belief now firmly has been re-energized in Argentinian ranks. Do Argentina need to find a way to get Lionel Messi into the game here?
Yeah, because from the assist on the goal, he really hasn't been on the ball. The one turn early in the second half, and he played a really good through ball. Other than that, he's been very, very quiet. Switzerland tactically has been absolutely outstanding, probably the best I've ever seen in this tournament against Lionel Messi.
Xhaka is using every single second that is available to him here to get the reassembled tactical message across. And Argentina make the change, and it is a change in that left back area that we were talking about in the first half. The more attacking Nico Gonzalez now on for Nicolas Tagliafico.
Yeah, it was a smart decision. Tagliafico is an excellent player, but he is a little bit more defensive than Gonzalez. So you'd think you're going to have more of the ball now for the remainder of this game, and if it goes into extra time.
His goal in the first half and Doy's in the second, poised at 1-1. Goal for his country tonight for Dan and Doy. Second at this World Cup, having scored in the round of 32 against Algeria. The worry, Brad, I think, for Switzerland is that Argentina scored at least 2 goals in each of their last 11 World Cup games. No team has stopped them scoring at this tournament since Croatia in 2018.
That backs will be up against the wall. What they've ended up doing is putting in Doy up front. He's got incredible amounts of pace. Looks like they're defending with 5 across the back with 3 in front of them. So this is not going to be easy for Argentina to break down.
Messi looking for the substitute Gonzalez, and swiftly off his line was Corbel. But he's more of a winger.
Kenapa sih Argentina selalu ini
A left back, so they have now outlets in
kau
both Gonzalez and Molina going forward from those fullback positions. Kanji and Reader, who is quick and has got there ahead of Romero, but he won the physical tussle.
baru unggul 1 udah pertahanan.
Reader.
Baru deh gua deg-degan ini cok. Bikin
Are they going to be able to maintain control of the ball that they have had for large portions of this second half? Switzerland before that red card for Mbolo. And how brave do they want to be?
Well, I think they'll attack with fewer numbers, but there's no signs of this Argentinian team putting any more pressure on the ball. You would have thought after the sending off that it'd be Argentina with all the possession, but it seems like we're same place that we left off before the sending off.
masih aja kalah penguasaan bola lu. Main kayak tolol gini loh, guys.
And he just chops away from McAllister. Wasn't the power on the pass to release Zakaria. Molina. Enzo Fernandez, who was the man to the rescue for Argentina in that win over Egypt. Sandro Martinez. There it is. Paul. Actually just able to take 2 touches before looking long for Ndoye, but he's going to feel isolated now, and Switzerland don't have that central focal point to their forward line anymore with the red for Mbolo. And now Messi somehow emerged with the ball, but Argentina can't keep the ball. Also finds a way out towards Reader. Interception by Zachary just before it came the way of Nico Gonzalez. Retrieved again by Enzo Fernandez. Gonzalez. Fernandez. Oh, Messi, beautifully done. Some important boots in there from Switzerland's most important in Granit Xhaka.
Tai lah kelakuan apa?
Well versed defending. Just because they're a man down,
Argentina lawan
Argentina's
sing
having a hard
besok.
time even keeping a hold of the ball.
They're trying to bend it round the corner for Ndoye. Perhaps doesn't have the physical capabilities to brush Romero away.
Langsung nggak dia. Ah, fuck. Ah, nah si Argentina.
The structure is clear. The blueprint has been in place for a long time.
Yes, they most definitely all know what they're meant to do, what they want to do, what they need to do, how to lift each other up.
They are preparing a trio of changes by the looks of things, Switzerland. This is Paredes for Argentina. Paredes lifting it in. It's a beautiful ball.
Oh no, Messi. Offset.
Deliciously finished off by
Offset.
Messi, as perhaps many anticipated it might. And that offside flag would have made sure there was no spectacular ending regardless.
Endo.
Quick ball movement. I think he is onside. I think over the brilliant not to go to ground. You would think that man would finish every time in that position.
We've seen it so many times, haven't we, through the years? Latest Argentinian changes.
Oh, Lisandro Martinez tadi.
Lautaro Martinez.
Lautaro.
And it was Lautaro Martinez's absolutely stupendous ball to deliver the cross for Enzo Fernandez's winner against Egypt in the round of 16. So he's mixing things up, he's getting the fresh legs on the pitch. But that is what Yakin is going to do here as well with Switzerland.
Langsung bertahan lah, brother.
The trio of changes, so Ndoye and Reader off. And then comes Zitma and Amdouni. And also Muhaim as well. So Switzerland's goal scorer amongst those who make way.
So it surprises me a little bit, but he also must be incredibly tired. Put in a tremendous shift.
Kelakuan Argentina unggul terus. Terus bertahan. Lu pikir dengan 1 gol lu bisa menang? Come on lah, minimal 2 lah bro kalau mau bertahan.
Perhaps no surprise that the Swiss changes, Brad, have a defensive feel about them.
Yeah, defensive field, and Amdouni's going to go up front, and he's going to be the one that's going to try to expend all the energy and try to catch Argentina on a break.
Zachary, who at least for now has shifted into the midfield role, and he's pitched it back to Switzerland. The only ball really was Amdouni.
They've also moved Zachary up on the right midfield. I assume that's for an outlet for the longer passes. Vidmar's coming this right-hand side.
And England no closer to knowing who they are going to face in the World Cup semi-final. One of these two, McAllister or Argentina, or Sandro Martinez. This is Nico Gonzalez. Watched carefully by one of the new arrivals, Sylvain Vidmar. It's another who's been around the block in the Swiss Red, the fourth major tournament for him. Raiders. Martinez. Looking for Lautaro Martinez. Switzerland are deep and pinned in right now by Argentina.
They are, and this is the first time in the second half that it presents a little bit of danger.
And that cross has danger written all over it, and it's still
Oh man.
from McAllister again with his head. After all of the good work from Nico Gonzalez.
Well, as they're sitting back, they're now not getting pressure to the ball, and that's always a danger when you have Lionel Messi around the box, and that is a wonderful opportunity again with the head from McAllister. He's claiming there was a bit of a deflection. I didn't see it.
There's been a question over whether Nico Gonzalez had actually kept that ball in too. Dooley now running that Swiss forward line all by himself. It's all of their World Cup qualifiers because of that ACL injury that he sustained. He's played football in England with Burnley. He didn't have much football in the past 12 months with them. Let's see. Gonzalez. Sandro Martinez. It's Paredes. So Fernandez.
Elah, masih Argentina ini.
9 minutes at the end of the 90 as Alvedi is required to defend. And it did brush off the top of the Swiss head. Argentina have a corner.
Well, for the rest of this 9 minutes plus extra time, if it goes there, they're going to have a lot of those types of balls to deal with.
Well, they are doing their very best to make it a blue and white wall in Kansas City, the Argentinian fans, as their team look for another late goal, another passage into the next round. Where's the magic coming from tonight? Enzo Fernandez. 6 in light blue and white inside that Swiss penalty area. This is Paredes. Fernandez. And now finally they've located Messi. Lionel Messi!
Oh!
Felt like that might have been the moment.
Kobo was beaten. You could tell. I've been in that position. Watch his body shake as Lionel Messi just ducks his shoulder, comes over. He knew it was past him. And at his age, this is what he can still do. He's so quick. Takes it over to his weaker foot. Just misses.
And they were just toying with Switzerland there, weren't they? Just waiting and waiting for Messi to find the space. But still we go on. And as it stands, we are going to go on into a further 30 minutes of football in this final World Cup quarter-final. Switzerland down to 10. Gonzalez, wild from him.
A little wasteful. There are 4 players in the box.
Lionel almost to the rescue for Lionel again. I mean, they have all their premier attacking players on the pitch now. Argentina in Alvarez and Messi and Lautaro Martinez. Here is Julian Alvarez.
¿Cómo la ves?
Gonzalez. There's almost slipped into the challenge. McAllister scampers over to give it back to Alvarez again. Martinez. Paredes. One moment is all it might take.
Messi's starting to come alive. He's getting a lot of touches around the box now.
Atmosphere unbelievable inside Kansas City Stadium. I'm sure they'd love to have Valon Barami out there right now, Switzerland, just to help add a little bit more structure to this defence that feels at the moment like it is just clinging on in there. The Brillimbolo red card in the 72nd minute. Off goes Mr. Dependable, Ricardo Rodriguez.
Rodriguez lu, Bo. Ada keturunan Amerika Latin kah?
Chomet's on in his place, centre half who plays his club football in Spain with Valencia. First appearance actually at this World Cup for Chomet.
That's a like for like substitution, just getting fresh legs in the defense.
Lifted in over the head of everybody, including Lautaro Martinez. Well, he has single-handedly dragged Argentina out of the world before. And the eyes are lighting up now.
The really interesting part will be, what does Switzerland do if it goes to extra time? I'm not sure if they could just sit here and let Argentina lay siege for 30 more minutes.
We are 2/3 of the way through added time. Thus, only 3 minutes away from a second quarter-final in the space of a few hours at this World Cup going to extra time. That's what England needed earlier to beat Norway, and that is who one of these two is going to play in Atlanta on Wednesday.
Such small margins, fine lines when you get to this stage of a World Cup.
Martinez. Paredes. See, McAllister. Messi. Julian Alvarez. It's just a block of red in front of him right now and the rest, but in it comes eventually from Alvarez. Starting things Argentina with Romero. Thanks, a sharp focus now needed for Switzerland if they are to push this through to extra time. Messi. And Zidba, unsure, puts it behind for a corner.
He did the right thing. He didn't know how close the player was behind him. I'm sure he got a shout from his goalkeeper that there was a man there.
Perhaps one more sharp piece of Switzerland defending is needed here. Before extra time, Messi. And the ball comes all the way through. Acrobatic effort and pushed away by Korbel.
Sharp defending needed indeed. Very good save by Kobo through a group of players.
And they press and they squeeze again, Argentina though. Messi loses it, but not for long. Hernandez. The swell of pressure is great now on Switzerland. Argentina giving everything they've got before another 30 minutes for not one, but both of these teams in these knockout rounds.
Malah pengen ke
Can
ini.
Argentina find the winner? Headed away by Kanji. Hernandez. The referee has seen a foul inside that penalty area, so Switzerland are going to get a chance to
Udah ya udah.
the pull on Moheim.
Here's the save.
Teu beunang Lautaro padahal lamun menit congkel cek ka ditukeun. Ah.
The legs of Lautaro Martinez. He wouldn't have seen it until very late.
And not for the first time in these knockout rounds at this World Cup, Switzerland and Argentina will need an extra 30 minutes. 1-1 at the end of the 90 in Kansas City.
Nanti temenin belanja bulanan, beli baju, nge-gym.
Akan kuhadapi dunia, tapi Indo mencoba dulu.
Parah. Lu Argentina kelakuan lu. Kenapa sih harus
lengkap dengan 16 gram protein? Power up with our protein pack drinks only at Starbucks.
Sayang, nanti temenin belanja bulanan, beli baju, nge-gym.
Akan kuhadapi dunia, tapi Indo mencoba dulu.
Pemirsa, tidak cukup 2 kali 45 menit tentunya untuk menentukan siapa yang akan lolos ke semifinal dari FIFA World Cup 2026 di babak besar, di mana gol balasan dari Indonesia mampu menyamakan kedudukan menjadi 1-1. Ada satu kartu merah juga didapatkan oleh Swiss, tentunya ini menjadi drama kalau terjadi, Coach Ian.
Iya, menarik tadi kita lihat kartu kuning kedua dari Bolo ya, yang dia melakukan diving dan tadi di awal wasit justru memberikan kartu kuning kepada Martinez dari Argentina dan direvisi menjadi kartu kuning kedua dan kartu merah. Ini tentunya membuat Swiss bermain lebih bertahan dalam pemain dengan skor imbang 1-1 dan mencoba mempertahankan hasil ini dan memaksa mungkin sampai penalti.
Ya, kalau Ais melihat ya dengan pergantian pemain setelah kartu merah diberikan oleh wasit, Anda melihat apa yang dicoba dilakukan oleh Murad Yakin?
Ya, kalau kita lihat memang Murad Yakin tampak melakukan pergantian, ada beberapa nama yang cenderung kuat dalam defense ya. Wismer dimasukkan, meskipun ada Andoni ya, pemain depan yang juga dimasukkan. Artinya memang di sini Swiss mengisyaratkan bahwa mereka ingin bermain dengan low block, tapi juga mempersiapkan serangan balik cepat. dengan mengantisipasi kehadiran Andoni gitu.
Ya, saya lihat bahwa sejauh ini cukup terkejut ya dengan apa yang dikerjakan oleh beberapa tim. Mereka mampu menyamakan kedudukan. Setelah itu mereka mampu bermain sangat rapat di daerah pertahanan mereka.
Ya, tadi bagaimana kita sudah bahas di halftime bahwa bagaimana untuk menciptakan gol ke Argentina adalah memanfaatkan tim samping yang mereka kurang jumlah. Nah, dan ini dimanfaatkan baik oleh Swiss dan Sachin Gol. Bahkan sebelum terjadinya gol tadi ada dua peluang sebelumnya yang menjadi peluang juga berpotensi gol dari Swiss, namun memang pertahanan dan penyelamatan dari Martinez yang cukup baik.
Ya, Gregor Kobel juga harus diberikan poin lebih ya.
Betul sekali, dan memang tadi kita lihat Gregor Kobel mampu melakukan beberapa penyelamatan ya, setidaknya memang dia bermain cukup bagus. Dia ada satu save ya dilakukan oleh Gregor Kobel, tapi gol dari Swiss ini tidak lepas dari Argentina yang bermain tadi terlalu dalam ya. Tadi di halftime kita sudah bilang bahwa ini beresiko jika Argentina terus bermain terlalu dalam sehingga memungkinkan Swiss untuk bisa lebih mendekati gawang Argentina, dan kejadian dengan gol Doe tadi.
Ya, ternyata pemain juga dilakukan. Tapi Alvaro bisa dimasukkan, ini menjadi satu kontra strategi yang coba dilakukan oleh pelatih dari Scaloni. Baik pemirsa, inilah perpanjangan waktu pertandingan antara Argentina menghadapi Swiss. Selamat menyaksikan.
It's been used in all but one of Argentina's games at this World Cup, Thiago Almada. A very familiar face to people who view football in this very country, having had his highly successful spell with Atlanta United. And so, for the second time in the knockout stage at this 2026 World Cup, it is extra time again for both Argentina and Switzerland. But do you anticipate, Bradford, that we are going to see more of the same in terms of Switzerland trying to sit in and absorb as much as possible?
I'd like to see Murayakin figure out a way that they could get a bit of possession with the ball, but they've come out again with 5 across the back, then 3 in front of the back 5, and then just Amdouni up front. So I do see a long 30 minutes ahead for Switzerland.
Obviously, when
Shoot!
McAllister had a swing
Shoot,
at Martinez, and the ball spins away eventually and behind. It's going to be a corner. Gonzalez was at the back of the queue waiting for his moment.
You see a lot of red bodies, red shirts. They're just going to try to throw their body, throw their head. Goalkeeper making saves.
And it was from this end of the stadium where Argentina scored via a Messi corner in the first half of this game. Almada, straight off the bench, what can he do?
Almada main deh siapa sih Alvarez.
There's an element of fatigue about that effort from Julian Alvarez.
Yes, Switzerland will be happy if that's where they're getting their opportunities from.
5 years ago yesterday, the first Lionel Scaloni triumph when Argentina beat Brazil in the Copa America final in the Maracanã as well in Rio de Janeiro. And what a sparkling few years it has been with him at the helm. Argentina with the fresh legs on.
Almada.
Good save from Corbel.
Orang tarik bang.
Almada getting himself into a good position.
Yeah, he's really good in these areas. You see there's 5 red shirts around, but he's still able to do a creative 1-2. Didn't get all of the strike.
can almost play that Di Maria role now, can't he, Thiago Almada? I mean, he is 25, so he's moving into the wrong side of the 20s, but for a long time I think they've been talking about him and having the potential to be the long-term replacement for Di Maria.
Yeah, and he's a little bit different in his movements. He can definitely come inside a bit more than Di Maria did. Di Maria's passing and final ball was just superb. So he's going to have something to achieve if he's going to get that status.
He risks to substitute Almada. Slip, which was almost advantageous because it nearly came the way of Alvarez. Almada. Up it goes to Romero. Has no worries at the moment about anyone being behind him. And they're high up the two centre halves. Martinez, he thought about it. Almada. Gonzalez.
Dah nih orang. Ibu terus.
Slipping to their
Kamu
task,
gak bikin
Switzerland.
sih?
Not even a brief sniff of a gap at the moment for Argentina. Messi. Almada.
Dah nih orang anjir.
Gonzalez. This is Leandro Paredes. Happy to be patient, Argentina, and Switzerland, I think, likewise. Messi. Almada. Good.
Oh.
But it
Orang
happened
tengah,
on
bro.
their feet. We just wondered whether the whiz kid had come up with something special there.
Well, since he's come on, the ball hasn't been on the right-hand side. It's only been on the left because of that man. He's cut. He's getting opportunities to shoot or have combinations, just skims the outside of the post.
Kenapa lu gak pink sepatunya, bos?
Well, he has
Oh
to plan
iya,
himself
kan
right,
kiper.
Dennis Zakaria.
Jadi makin
A
naik.
really good shift.
And one of those who was sat on the yellow card for Switzerland. Of course, if they do make the semi-finals, then Bolo will not be able to play. But he has successfully walked the tightrope tonight. And Ardon Yashiri, who made his first ever World Cup start last time out against Colombia, is on in his place. He enters the fray knowing that he's probably not going to see a great deal of the ball here.
Akanji and Elvedi have been absolutely immense in the back for Switzerland.
Broiler pulled to the ground and Almada, the latest to go into the book.
Ngapain sih Almada lu? Kalem, bro, kalem.
Just very quietly, Remo Freuler has kept things ticking along alongside Granit Xhaka in that Swiss midfield.
Yeah, he was a big part of why they were performing so well in the second half. He had to take on a different role since the sending off.
It's the hand of Akanji that is asking for Xhaka to send the ball his way. Him and Elvedi, the two Swiss centre-halves there. Well, a chance perhaps for Switzerland to unnerve Argentina given the circumstances of this game now. Xhaka's free kick intended for Akanji, who overstepped the mark. It's a free kick to Argentina. The tension is high. It really is. There is a lot on the line for these two teams. Tara Martinez also going to get a booking, so that's a couple of quick yellows for Argentina.
That's something to keep an eye on for Switzerland. They'll know the players that are booked Perhaps try to
Martinez
get
mah.
another one of them sent off so they can level the playing field again.
Argentina, the world champions, Switzerland, who have never been into a World Cup semi-final before. And actually, their last World Cup quarter-final, which was back in 1954, still remains the highest-scoring World Cup game of all time. They lost 7-5 to Austria in a tournament that Switzerland were actually hosting. Remarkably, Switzerland were 3-0 up inside 19 minutes of that match. By the time it was half-time, it was Austria 5, Switzerland 4. Here's the substitute, Yashiri. And the effort from a long way out from Xhaka, which I don't think panics Martinez too much.
That was always going up and over, but at least Switzerland's had this couple of minutes of respite from defending in their own 18-yard box.
Argentina are not hanging around, and they can't really afford to hang around. They have the numerical advantage.
Makanya dari tadi lu kalau mau nyerang itu lebih capek
Can
kan.
they breach this stubborn Swiss defence here? If anybody can come up with something to conjure something remarkable, it is Messi. And not that time.
Terlalu harus
32nd World Cup game tonight for Lionel Messi, 15th in the knockout stages. And with the little noise that will be ringing in the ear of all the Argentinian fans in here, that every time they see Messi now in the knockout stage at this World Cup, they will be aware that it could be his last. Marder taking it back off Paredes. Romero has come up with a big goal himself in recent days in the World Cup. Here's Messi. And again, Messi. And now Argentina inside the Swiss penalty area where they haven't really been able to get themselves into positions like this.
tolol eta Messi.
Broken up by Anduni.
Switzerland's doing a really good job of when Messi is coming across the 18-yard box. Another defender's covering and another one and another one. I know it's thankless work and it's hard, but you have to do that against someone as great as him.
And they might well be counting down the minutes, Switzerland. Argentina will be doing the same, but for entirely different reasons. One of them will feel like the time is racing by, and the other will sense that it is slowed down. Montiel. Messi. He wants the free kick, and Argentina almost stopped to make sure that they get that free kick. And you know why? It's in Messi range.
It's just a question, but if they have possession of the ball, shouldn't you play on instead of calling the free kick? He gets rid of the ball. It is a foul. He puts his body into him. But then Argentina had the ball to play on.
And this spells caution for Switzerland.
Kobo will be quite happy that it's the distance it is. Not saying that Lionel Messi doesn't have the quality to score from here, but at least it'll give Kobo a good chance at a sight of the ball.
Come on Messi, come on.
The brilliant cocks are whirring.
Vamos Messi, vamos.
Is this going to be another special Lionel Messi moment?
Shoot. Aduh. Nah.
Straight into the Swiss wall. Paredes.
Iya, jangan. Janganlah, udahlah.
Paredes will continue here. McAllister. Messi. Switzerland playing with 10 and Argentina right now playing with 10 as well. Not entirely sure, but I think that's Nico Gonzalez who is sat down. One way, blue and white traffic. McAllister. Far too much on that cross from him.
And again, Switzerland will be happy that this is rolled out of play. That was a scrape for the studs. Inadvertent, not meant, but very painful.
Picks himself up now, the Atletico Madrid player, or at least he has been with Atletico Madrid this season on loan from Juventus. And in the final seconds of this first half of extra time. And at the moment, as was the case there from Yashari, everything from Switzerland is from range and is full of hope and not much more.
That one there and Xhaka's earlier. But just to tick those extra seconds off the clock, I think will be a welcome sign for them.
1 minute.
Seconds at the end of this first half
Ya,
of extra
emang sih.
time. Still deliciously poised as Messi swings it in for Argentina. It's back across goal and away from danger. Still not moving Gonzalez, but he moved quick enough to almost provide an assist there. Paredes. Romero. McAllister. Montiel. Alessandro Martinez.
Power Messi.
Who's back in by Gonzalez and behind for an Argentina corner, but they haven't got long to take it.
Lu pincak gitu, oi. Jangan penalti ancok nih. Mereka dari awal tuh udah ngincer.
First half of extra time, Messi's corner. Over the bar by Romero.
Udah, Fred.
And now we are only 15 minutes away from penalties. Switzerland remains stubborn, sticking to their task, having been down to 10 since the red card for Mbolo in the 72nd minute. The legs might be weary, but the minds really need to be focused now if they are to cause the greatest shock, perhaps of this tournament so far. It remains at half-time of extra time. Argentina 1, Switzerland 1.
mata saya seperti apa melihat Argentina sebenarnya juga tidak berhasil menembus kesulitan kedua unggul kedua pemain.
Sedikit frustasi ya ketika mereka hanya bisa keluar mengelilingi defense yang kompak dan disiplin dari Inggris ya. Dan kalau kita lihat bagaimana Messi akhirnya sebagai pengumpan harus keluar dari zona itu supaya dia bisa mendapatkan bola, karena kalau Messi tetap berada di dalam sulit bagaimana Messi bisa diberikan umpan. Atau kalau beberapa kali kita lihat tadi Messi sudah mencoba melakukan tendangan bebas lah, tidak langsung atau langsung pun juga belum mengarah ke gawang.
Ya, ini kegiatan pemain cukup berani ya dilakukan oleh Murat Yakin memasukkan pemain-pemain dengan berkarakter lebih bertahan, tapi cukup berhasil meredam Argentina.
Ya, dengan begitu praktis mereka, apalagi mereka bermain dengan 10 orang dengan kartu merah atau kartu kuning kedua yang diterima oleh Embolo. Paling masuk akal adalah mereka defense dan mereka mempersiapkan counter attack cepat. Dan itu cukup berhasil karena beberapa kali juga mereka bisa membuat Argentina panik ya dengan serangan balik mereka.
Ya, mungkin yang menjadi harus segera dibenahi oleh Argentina adalah memberikan ruang kembali untuk Messi ya, bisa lebih banyak memberikan aliran bola.
Ya, selain memberikan ruang, kemudian pergerakan di antara lini yang dilakukan perlawanan Inggris perlu juga memanfaatkan set piece ya, corner kick, free kick, bahkan lemparan ke dalam yang bisa saja ini menjadi data buat Argentina untuk bisa mencuri satu gol sebelum adu penalti.
Ya, tapi ini dimasukkan perhatikan Romero yang sudah kehabisan stamina sepertinya. Ya, baik pemirsa, kita saksikan perpanjangan waktu kedua di babak pertama besar. Argentina menghadapi Swiss. Selamat menyaksikan.
38 years old now, Otamendi. And so, 15 more minutes to play in Kansas City tonight. And Switzerland with the 10. I'm trying here to startle the world champions Argentina. And whatever happens tonight, they have done their nation proud. They were, I'm sure, in many people's eyes, on top of the game when Mbola received his red card not too long after the equaliser from Ndoye.
If you're going to lose the ball, lose it there. Deep in Argentina's half for a throw-in. Should be taking it next to the corner flag.
Last team to beat Switzerland in a competitive game was Spain in the UEFA Nations League in November of 2024. They are a tough nut to crack. It's McAllister landing on the toes of Muheim.
Each one of these fouls, Switzerland will be happy with because it can take up to 30 seconds to a minute off the clock. Plus, they get a half chance on a set piece.
And once more, the prominent aerial threats have gone forward at Kanji and Albedi. And Dittmer is in there too. Martinez and Gonzalez trying to keep an eye on Akanji. The free kick is a super one. That was bent in with some purpose from Granit Xhaka there.
Yeah, it's the best service they've had on a set piece today. Horrible one to defend.
But now they are having to assume a position that has been one of regularity for them in the last half an hour or so. Back into their defensive shape once more, Switzerland. This is Messi. And bringing it away is Zeki Amdouni, but he's all on his own. He's surrounded by players, Amdouni, and he's managed to burst his way through, and he just wants the return pass now, which wasn't good enough from the participating Vidmar.
Seems like Yakin has said, if you can't have a chance and you feel good, go and join in with Amdouni. We've seen on a couple of occasions now, 2 or 3 players going with them.
McAllister, and like a magnet, the ball lands at Messi's feet. McAllister. Armada. Gonzalez. Armada for Argentina. Messi.
Gak ini gak sinkron ininya euy.
For Martinez. Armada. And trying to craft something that almost like a thing of beauty here, Argentina.
I think he thought McAllister was going to step forward for a first-time hit.
Martinez. Over the reach of Lautaro Martinez.
McAllister just wasn't on the same page as Thiago Almada. Here's that service. It's a really well-defended ball by Lautaro Martinez, going back towards your own goal, in between the goalkeeper and the attackers.
An intervention from him that was almost as good as the intervention for
Lu
against Egypt.
lumayan. Siapa?
Jose Manuel Lopez on for Andrew Paredes for Argentina. So that is another striker onto the pitch. It is, I would say now, as full frontal really as Argentina possibly can be in terms of having strikers on the pitch.
No real positions. They're just all across and then let Messi get the ball and try to feed you.
The nerves will be creeping in certainly amongst the supporters. Messi for Argentina, caught by Korbel.
Good goalkeeping. That's what you want. You're a defender, you're tired. You just hear that shout from your goalkeeper. You're so happy.
Took him 13 internationals to earn his very first clean sheet, Gregor Korbel, but he's one of the standout goalkeepers in Europe right now. Brilliant season with Borussia Dortmund in Germany. Sure, can't keep it in. Never beaten Argentina before, Switzerland. 8th game between them tonight. And maybe the only way they are going to beat them is via a spot kick situation from here. That's what ultimately Switzerland are playing for. A situation that Argentina do not want.
Shoot Messi.
Messi!
Oh,
Shoveled away by Korbel.
apa Roy? Kenapa lu?
Lautaro Martinez. Julian
Goal! Oh my goodness! Alvarez goal! Wow, what a goal, Alvarez! Goal, Alvarez goal. Akhirnya lu ngegolin Alvarez, pecah telur.
And Argentina have their extra time get out clause again.
Just truly remarkable stuff. It started with Lionel Messi and a great save by Kobo. It comes over to Julian Alvarez, and what a way to get your first ever World Cup goal. And it's just a magnificent strike. It is going up and over the goal and wide until you see that vicious tip. Kobo is just left helpless. Heartbreak for Switzerland at this moment in time. and just complete relief for Argentina.
Spellbinding stuff from Julian Alvarez. A noise like no other inside Kansas City Stadium. His first goal of this World Cup, and one that he will never forget.
Akhirnya lu ngegolin Alvarez.
They call him El Araña, the spider, because of his ability to look like he had multiple legs. I think the goalkeeper, Corbell, could have been a spider with multiple arms there. He wouldn't have stopped it.
No, that's one of those strikes, I'm afraid, that from a goalkeeper standpoint is just virtually impossible to save. See, tempers are flaring here before the kickoff.
Well, Lopez is one of those that has been booked.
What? Kunaon sih? Yang ini ngelakukan naon sih?
Having only just come onto the pitch.
Gantilah pemain itu Argentina sabar disubnya.
Off comes Freuler. This is Ruben Vargas, who was the man to the rescue. His spot kick won it against Colombia in the round of 16.
And you've also seen the Argentinian players. They're talking of who's playing in what positions now. They have virtually 5 strikers on the pitch.
It's a really good point. Who is going to sit in now and try and defend this? And if that is to be the winning goal from Alvarez, and if Argentina do go on and win the World Cup again, they will be talking about that goal for decades to come. But we aren't done yet. Attacked by Amdouni. This is Widmer for Switzerland, who need to find more heart now. Xhaka. Nicely floated ball. Out comes Martinez. Claims it with authority.
Good goalkeeping. That's a floated ball. You know you're either going to get hit by an
no.
attacking player, or you're going to have to hit your own player.
Aduh, mau come on Martinez.
He chose the latter.
He'd have been wondering, I think, for quite a sizable period of this extra time, Emi Martinez, whether he was going to be needed in a shootout here. And they are having a sweet release now.
Well, McAllister's going to have to come off the pitch. Oh no, because the medicus didn't come out. Sweetest of strikes.
Unstoppable. The aim of Alvarez and the aim for Argentina to go on and win another World Cup. Closing in on that semi-final 4 days from now against England. As it stands, it will be those two in Atlanta. Unless Switzerland can dig deep than perhaps they've ever dug before. And there is little more he can do from here, Murat Yakin.
No, he's really unlucky. He had a brilliant halftime. He came out and his team were magnificent until Embolo was sent off. Truly magnificent.
But they are the extra time specialists, Argentina. They have done it time and again through the years. Ishari for Switzerland, one of those who is fresh legs and has won them a free kick here.
Lopez.
Careful, Lopez came on. He's already been booked. That could have been a second booking.
It wasn't too long ago that he sent in the most beautiful free kick that nearly led to a Switzerland goal. Something similar required here from the Granit Xhaka shelf.
Similar position.
And most in red are committed forward for it from Xhaka off the top of the one-man Argentinian wall, which was Lionel Messi. "90 seconds plus stoppage time from the end. Kanji has stayed up there. Switzerland with bodies forward.
Oh, Messi.
And it can all be sealed.
Messi.
It is Messi for Argentina.
Shoot Messi. Oh.
It's a corner.
It's corner.
The shins of Xhaka.
Next best thing for Argentina, get a corner. Take some of those precious seconds off.
Halus. Lu defense-nya halus kan. Ya.
Difficult to waste time now with the new rules in place.
It appears it is going to be the first game of this World Cup that is going to pass by without a Lionel Messi goal in it. Someone else's turn for the headlines tonight.
Offset kah banyak?
Julian Alvarez's name is going to be up in lights tomorrow. I imagine in Buenos Aires and beyond, they will be bouncing right now. Is there any more in the Swiss tank? They have 4 minutes. There is still time for Switzerland. There is still time for the nerves of Argentina to be activated. The 10 men of Switzerland, Yeshari, deep ball towards Vidmo, almost took his eye off it right at the end. And it's hurried out of play. It didn't quite cross the line. Xhaka has it again for Switzerland. But he has it taken away from him by
Messi tuh, Messi kosong. Oke. Saya tak. Shoot. Gol. Gol. Armada lu gol keun we padahal si Messi jauh. Enggak apa-apa.
Atlanta and England. Here come the Albiceleste.
Well, Switzerland were throwing caution to the wind. And when that happens, the likelihood that it was going to end up 2-1 was very low. They were either going to go to 2-2 or this would happen. Very good save by Koval. Thiago Almada really took off with his jets. Lautaro Martinez with the simplest of finishes. And that does seal it for an England, the Argentina semi-final in Atlanta.
Tuh udah ngejar hiji jadi ngejar dua, itu bener-bener.
Well, he was the talk of the town, Lautaro Martinez, for his sublime ball that won the game against Egypt via Enzo Fernandez's head, and now he has a goal of his own. And this one takes Argentina over the finish line. Tonight it is all about the men that surround Messi rather than the man himself. Well, they haven't had a moment like this, I don't think, really, in the knockout stage so far. Argentina, some minutes to relax, to be at peace of the situation.
No, they've had backs up against the wall and against two much smaller nations, football-wise, than them, where there would have been a lot of criticism if they had been knocked out. I do think they were a little fortunate in this game with the way that it panned out with Embolo sending off. Switzerland started this second half remarkably well.
And for the first time since the FIFA rankings were introduced back in 1992, we are going to have all of the top four in the pre-tournament rankings in the semi-final of the World Cup. In every single sense, the stars have shone. Argentina's pursuit of greatness goes on. They will go back to Atlanta, back to the scene of their miraculous escape from the clutches of the Egyptians.
Oke, Argentina menang
And
lagi.
now, just 2
Messi
weeks
cetak 1 assist tapi nggak ngegolin. Oke, gak apa-apa, yang penting menang. Alvarez sama Lautaro Martinez ngegolin, yang biasanya susah ngegolin. Ini jadi tanda bagus buat Argentina, Bo. Oke, Argentina menang lagi.
Pemirsa, bagaimana kita saksikan bagaimana hasil akhir
Messi cetak
pertandingan
1
antara
assist
juara
tapi ngegolin.
Argentina
Gak apa-apa,
berhasil
yang penting
membuat
menang.
mereka
Alvarez
menjadi
sama
tim terakhir yang
Lautaro
lolos ke
Martinez
fase semifinal
ngegolin, yang
di FIFA
biasanya
World Cup
susah
2026
ngegolin.
dengan mengalahkan
Ini jadi
Swiss
tanda
dengan
bagus
skor
buat Argentina.
3-1. Gol tambahan dari Julian Alvarez dan juga Lautaro Martinez membuat Argentina kembali bukan hasil maksimal ketika mereka selalu menghadirkan kekalahan bagi Swiss.